Hey everyone, I hope you're all having a wonderful day so far today. My name is April Kmiaczek, and today I'm making this video to share with you a process that I use to help me get through the state of overwhelm. So one of the things that happens when we decide for a transformation in our lives is our mind will start popping off this list of all the things that we need to do in order to make this transformation possible, right? So it's like, oh, we got to do this. Oh, but we also have to do that. And then I have to do this and this and this, but I can't do this until I do that. And then what about this over here? And it can really quickly spin out of control to the point where it can even actually stop us from moving forward at all. So I found that it's important to have a system in place that will help you kind of get back on point when your mind starts getting out of control. So this process is something it's actually bits and pieces from other things that I've read about that I kind of put together to make my own, because that's what I feel like works best for me. So I would encourage you to do the same. Just take what works for you and sort of, make your own thing. So because what we want to do is set ourselves up for success. Right, so the first thing I'll do when I'm feeling out of control, or just even when I decide I want to make a transformation before I even get to the point of feeling overwhelmed, is I will break it down into sections, right? I'll break my life down into sections. So I'll have health, finances, family and home stuff, other personal relationships, career, spiritual and personal development. Those are usually like the primary six for me. And then the things that I think about that I want to change or expand upon, I'll categorize them into one of those sections. And I'll just take everything that pops into my head that I've thought before I need to do, or I'm thinking now I need to do, take it out of my head and I put it on the piece of paper. For me, I like to visualize, I don't know if any of you have seen the Harry Potter movies, but there's one scene in one of the movies where Dumbledore, who's like the head wizard, is using his wand to take memories out of his head and put it into a pot so he can save them for later. And I love that, because that happens so much in our minds, where we have these thoughts bouncing around that it gets so crazy and we can't focus. So I visualize like taking the thought out of my head and putting it on the piece of paper. And it really helps me get clear. So once I've done that, the next thing I'll do is I'll pick the area that is most important to me at that time. So for me, all these areas are important. That's why I've created them and have ideas about how to improve upon them. But what I'll do is I'll pick one or maybe two at a time where I'm actually going to pour a lot of extra energy into. So for me right now, since I just started my own business, that's it. Like, my business is kind of the thing that I'm putting most of my energy into. So now, that being said, I still very much value my health, my spiritual and personal growth, my connection with my family and my home life. So I'm not going to completely put them on the back burner. But what I am going to do, and that's the next thing that is on my list of things to do, is I will put placeholders in my schedule. And what I mean by that is when I'm like scheduling out my week, what I'll do is I will schedule things that require me to pay attention to that area for that time. So, for example, in my health area, I signed up for a yoga studio membership, and there's 2 to 3 classes that fit really well in my schedule that I just put in there. So 2 to 3 times a week, I'm taking a yoga class, and it's in my schedule. I know when it is. It's actually right after I drop my daughter off from school, so it's perfect. I wake up in the morning, we do our thing, I bring my daughter to school, drop her off, I can swing over to the yoga studio, and bam. And number one, it feels good because I'm paying attention to my health and well-being. And number two, it's great because I don't have to think about it, but I'm also getting this done. So it gives me a sense of accomplishment without taking up too much mental energy, right? So if you have other areas for you that something like that would work out, you can schedule in time to go over some different like financial planning stuff, or you can schedule time with your friends or your family, but just like put those things in if they're not on your top priority right now. So that being said, for the thing that is my top priority at this moment in time, I will schedule 1 to 3 tasks a day towards that area. So now here's the thing. In the beginning, we started off with a list, right? We made the categories, the different sections of our lives, and then we put down all the things that would fit under that category. So for your main, most important thing, you probably have a lengthy list of things that your mind is thinking you want to do. So each day, and you can figure out what kind of tasks you want to do based on your schedule for that day. Pick at least 1 to 3 tasks in that category for that day. Right? So if you have a really busy day, but you are able to do 1 task in that column, you'll have that sense of accomplishment. You'll be able to focus some energy on the thing that's most important to you right now, and it'll keep that momentum going. If you have, I have heard it say, do 6 tasks a day. If you have that type of time in your schedule, all the more power to you. Go for it. For me, it's not really realistic for me to expect that I'm going to do 6 things in one day consistently. So I try to do things that will be easy for me to implement on a regular basis so that I can build the momentum of experience success, right? So that being said, once you start picking your 1 to 3 things a day, I have like a scoreboard. It depends on how artistic you are. If you want to do like a pretty like poster board with different stuff, I have seen people do that. Or if you want to just like have it one place where you keep all your lists of things that you're doing, every day mark off the successes you've had. Like, so for example, also in my health category, something that I did was I bought like these supplements, and it's not that big of a deal to take some vitamins every day. But for me, it is a change, right? I'm not a consistent vitamin taker. I'm not really good at that type of stuff. I can't even tell you how many times I bought a bottle of something and took it 2 or 3 days and then it just sat. So for me to take my vitamins every day is a genuine success because it's a change in the pattern. It's a change in my patterns in the direction of my desired outcome. So what I'll do is I'll check that off. Like, that's a win. I took my vitamins today. That's a win for me today. And the reason it's important to acknowledge even the tiniest wins is because we want to build that feeling of excitement, kind of the way social media is set up, where if you get the likes, the little shots of dopamine, like it creates this like addiction to that feeling, right? We want to go back for more. We want another like, we want another, and it's the same way with this, right? I have a list of things, and I give myself a gold star every time I complete something. It gives me that feeling of like, ooh, I like that. I like feeling like I'm accomplishing something. It's an instant gratification tool, and it helps develop momentum in the direction of moving towards things that feel good. So that's basically what I use to help keep myself on track and pull myself out of overwhelm and into something like focused. It's really so helpful to get it down on paper, break it down into sections so that we can take a look at what we actually need to do. Pick like the 1 or 2 things that are most important to you and really put the extra energy into those. The things that aren't as important as the main ones, but still things that you want to spend energy on, put placeholder events in your calendar throughout the week so that you are definitely tapping into those on a regular basis, but it's not going to take the too much focus or too much of your mental energy, so that you have more of that to focus on the thing that you're really working towards changing. And then for the things that you're really working towards changing, pick 1 to 3 tasks out of the column of that particular thing that you wrote down in the beginning, all those tasks that you think you need to do. 1 to 3 of them a day, and just check them off as you're going. Get them done. And then as you're getting them done, have some sort of system in place where you're actually acknowledging yourself for the successes that you are having, right? If it's part of the 1 to 3 tasks that you're accomplishing, or even the placeholder events, congratulate yourself on the success that you're doing, and it will help build momentum in the direction of what you actually want to do. So that all being said, I cannot emphasize this enough. Do something that is going to work for you. like I said, this is something that I put together from, you know, different things that I heard from different places. But I have found time and time again in my personal experience, every time I try to implement something in a way that is completely cookie cutter from some sort of source, I don't follow through. And the thing is, because like I'm trying to do something based on what is successful for somebody else. So while there are definitely tools that are great, definitely taking suggestions, definitely taking what they do into account when you're developing your own process, I cannot emphasize enough how important it is, at least for me, to really tap into what's really going to work for you. So another example of that is, you know, I've heard so many people over and over and over getting up at the crack of dawn, like getting up at 5 o'clock, getting the most creative work done super early before anyone else wakes up. That's not me. I'm not going to do that. Even if I can get myself up at 5 o'clock in the morning and get a bunch of stuff done, I'm crashing by 2 o'clock in the afternoon and half my midday section is gone. For now, that's not working for me, right? I have a morning routine. I have things that I dedicate before the flow starts going to. I do have a morning ritual, but I'm not trying to force myself to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning right now. It's just not happening. So I work in a way that is going to generate success for me, and I encourage you to do the same. So I hope you got some good stuff out of this video. I hope it was really helpful for you. If you have any ways that help you get out of overwhelm, I would love to hear about it in the comments. Also, if there's anything that you'd be interested in hearing about, if you have some questions in your own transformation that you would like some clarity or some input on, I would love to hear about it too. Leave some questions in the comments below, and I'll make a video about it. So that being said, I hope this was helpful for you, and I hope you have an amazing day. See you later.